My name is Eric. I make apps. Leonardo Leo says, what do you think about Linux for developing? Have you ever used it? No, I never have. I've tried. I think that people who use Linux are like badasses. They're the guys at the gyms who only use free weights and would never use machines. You know, they're the guys who are like, you know, they're pure. Like they're like, you know, they don't use Windows and they don't use that. They want to touch a Mac, right? Every time I've used Linux, and I at least once every 2 years, I'll think, okay, I'm going to build a Linux machine, and I'll go and I'll do Ubuntu because, you know, and that's when everyone starts saying, you should use SUSE or whatever. Like, you should use this one, you should use that one, you should use that one. Already, it's too complicated. Whenever I use like a Linux desktop, it's just been like, oh, after a while, I kind of like, you know, I last maybe a few weeks and then I go back. And I think since I've been on the Mac, I've kind of stuck with the Mac. Going from using the command key to the control key to the command key for copy and paste, like using my little finger and my thumb, was such a transition that took so long for me to get through my head after years of being a Windows developer or being a C# developer on Windows, that by the time I made that transition, I was like, I wasn't going to go back the other way, like just because it's a bit like, you guys know what this is like when you go from the US to the UK and you're like, okay, I'm driving on the left now, which is like, you know, okay. And you got that time where you're just like, okay, this just feels awkward. And I just got to make sure I don't turn down the wrong road and everything like that. Every so often you do. So even 20 years later. So what do you guys think? I've always wanted to be a Linux developer, but I also need to do, you know, I need to do iOS apps, and that's, you know, and the whole Hackintosh thing or Mac and cloud stuff. It's in theory, it sounds like it would be doable, but I think, and for a while I was thinking, you know what I really want is I want to get like a giant, like a massive, just, you know, tower with like, you know, 128 gigs of RAM and like a Hackintosh VM and a Windows VM, and just have like that massive machine that could just, you know, and I could do video editing, I could do everything on it because I just have way too much memory and way too much processing power in it.